Bank of America is Citadel's prime broker, which is loaning the fake shares. It has now come out that Bank of America has over $305 billion worth of securities sold under agreements to repurchase. Talk about naked shorting counterfeit shares in the US markets. It's not just being done by hedge funds, but banks too. And speaking of Citadel, Ken Griffin, Citadel Securities, is seeking a license to operate in China after its failed bid for a Credit Suisse unit. And coincidentally, Chinese stocks just had their best day since 2008 as well. And China's central bank tells commercial lenders to start cutting rates on existing mortgages. We're also seeing mortgage interest rates drop today in the US markets, finally falling below 6%. And not to mention the port strike that is ultimately going to affect the market. But before we jump into the port strike, let's jump into AMC's brand new 8K filing that they just dropped today. AMC stock rises as movie theater chain shaves almost $153 million off debt load. Between August 5th, 2024 and September 30th, 2024, the company entered into a series of privately negotiated agreements to extinguish unsecured debt in an aggregate principal amount of $152,923,002. Now, to go into debt with this was in exchange for 11 million shares of the company and $103 million worth of cash. So yes, it wasn't just free, and there may be some slight dilution coming into the market once again over on AMC stock, yet we did still react positively as shaving debt load is not good for short sellers and ultimately fundamentally good for the company. Is this the best way to go about doing so? Maybe, maybe not. Before we get into the charts, last but not least, there was over $2 million worth of GameStop calls loaded. These wills continue to load January 17th, 2025 calls. In the past week alone, over $15 million worth of these calls have been added. So between last week as well as this week, more and more people are jumping into call options on GameStop as well as purchasing in the dark pool. Clearly some sort of whale and or whales, assuming something's coming. Now, I don't have the best news for the charts based off of what we see, but where we're trading at right now, forgetting about cycles and all that other stuff, GameStop is looking good. It's actually coming up to the top of the channel and trading right at Roaring Kitty's average, actually slightly above now as we speak, trading at 23.42, up 4% on the day. You can see that it tested this channel back here, got rejected, came all the way to the bottom of it, came to the bottom again, tested the top, came to the bottom. Now we're at the top of the channel once again. Now here's what's really good about this. Forgetting about all cycles and stuff, GameStop could see a nasty breakout right here as we speak. First level being 25 to 25.31, and then next level being up to $29. So ultimately we need to see 25 test and 25 break over. That's if we even come out of this range. We are testing the top of this box that we have right now. So at this moment we are watching for a break, open and close. Hopefully, best case scenario, tonight we close above $23.50 and then we open outside of this channel and continue to rally higher. That is all going to depend on what the market is going to do. Now keep in mind, if you look 150 days into the cycle, GameStop sees this pop right here, then we start scaling higher. If we look at GameStop previously 150 days into the cycle, it saw this pop right here, but ultimately this was the cap out before it started to dump following this pop. So is this the cap out? Is this the last run? Well, maybe, maybe not. The thing is, GameStop is actually, based on the cycle and the time delay, playing out inverse at this little section right here. You see, because 150 days in would get this pop, but ultimately after the sideways trading would crash, yet GameStop is starting to play out inverse. So ultimately things are looking bright over here. As far as AMC goes, this is the cycle that we were tracking, but flipped, seeing that this latest part has been playing out inverse instead of actually scaling higher and then squeezing, and things match up, which is not what we want to see. You see a low back here and a low right here. Same thing, peak. Some parts still play out inverse and some parts don't, right? You can see the same thing right here, peak and a valley. And then you see this low with this low, and then the scale down, get this pop. Ultimately, what would this mean if this continues to play out? Well, it would mean early October, AMC flushes down to probably 420, and then this is just the move that we see right here, and we wait. But ultimately, if this continued to play out inverse, AMC would probably see a large move down and flush, and we wouldn't see that squeeze. However, depending on the data we get, depending on the catalysts that we get going forward, and we know November is going to be a huge month as well, AMC could follow GameStop, and since this part is playing out inverse, maybe we finish this, test 420, probably 419 because that has been a historical low, then we squeeze, right? Overall, we're just watching this. Maybe AMC doesn't get this curl down, but based on the charts, based on the days in, based on everything playing out inverse, this is just something you could see if the rest of this cycle plays out inverse. And if it doesn't, you see it scale up and it play out inverse this part of the cycle, which would be great. We could just see a move up from here and then scale higher. Overall, this is the charts right here jumping into the overall market, and this is also going to affect AMC and GameStop ultimately. There is a port strike. The strike would be the first at these ports since 1977, could stop the flow of a wide variety of goods over the docks of almost all the cargo ports from Maine to Texas. This is not good. This includes everything from bananas to European beer, wine, and liquor, along with furniture, clothing, housing, household goods, and European autos, as well as parts needed to keep U.S. factories operating and American workers in those plants on the job. It could also stop U.S. exports now flowing through these ports, hurting sales for American companies. This is not good. This means that the market is probably going to have a bad reaction, number one. And the reason for that is because people are going to stop buying things. Everything's going to be too expensive. They're not going to have extra money to put into the market, right? And that's also just number two. Things are going to be more expensive. This is not good. Now, this could all be stopped. Keep in mind, this is just the beginning of it, and they have not started yet, but it's very, very close to happening. Now, the SPY, not much happening, still in the spring zone. I believe Powell speaks in about 10 minutes from when I'm recording this, so we will see what happens. You're looking for a break over 573.65 or a move down to 565.70. So watch those levels. Bitcoin, not what we wanted to see happen. We talked about this the other day. If we get this another rejection, this is what it would look like. And we got another rejection at the top of this channel. Are we going to have to wait another few months to see Bitcoin ultimately come back up, or is this thing going to crash? Like, what's going to happen here? Well, ultimately, we want to see it hold above 63,500 and get a pushback to retest this channel. In my personal opinion, if at any point over the next week or two we retest this channel, you have a higher likelihood of actually breaking out. So I'm watching that. I'm watching to see if there's momentum follow through here. But you can see that when we touched the top of this channel, volume started to fall off, which is not what we wanted. We wanted to see volume follow through there. Last but not least, I wanted to bring up Holo really quick, up another 17%. You cannot make this up, trading at 33 cents. If Holo breaks above this level at 34 cents, it's going all the way up to 41 cents. In my personal opinion, this stock is not stopping. And if you got in early when we have been talking about it, we've been talking about it since, I don't know, back here, right? There has been some crazy gains and there might still be more on the table. Overall, guys, that is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. And make sure, if you're not subscribed to the family, join us on this journey to financial freedom. We are close to 30,000 subscribers and we got some big stuff coming. Overall, I'm going to leave some links in the description and in the comments for you guys. The second link is for Moomoo. It's a free broker, keeps your money insured. It gives you level 2 order book data for free, access to trading options, going long, going short, and it has a cool interface, and you have a customizable earnings calendar. You can view other exchanges. There's just a ton of cool benefits, and it's free. If you open an account, great, but if you open an account and make a deposit, you're getting up to 15 free stocks and earning 8.1% APY on your uninvested cash. You got to go through my link, open an account, and make a deposit into there. It can literally be $1. The top link under the video is for pattern detection and forecasting. It's actually my custom indicator that was built to add to your TradingView charts to help you trade. It detects patterns, gives you price targets, and forecasts what the stocks might do. And I'm giving you 2 weeks for free, so go do that, guys. Both of those links are down in the description and pinned in the comments, and you're going to see matched up with those links a Discord link. It's only a coffee a month. We're all in there. I post my trades as soon as I enter them. We talk stocks and crypto. We post our gains, post our losses. Overall, best vibes. There are no bad questions. Get in here, whether you're a beginner or advanced. It does not matter. Love you all. Lottery Stocks out.